Hey folks, today we're going to show you how to utilize the share font feature to the server for distribution to other users. Now this is in the case of our enterprise products such as our cloud server, which we'll be showing you today, and our enterprise on-premise server. The functionality is exactly the same. So let's take a look at how we actually share fonts. But first, let's note that you need to have permissions to be able to share fonts to the server, and we'll go over that briefly later in this video. What we want to do is select a set of fonts that are available to share, right-click. Now we can also go down here to the gear and do the same thing, share here, but I like to use the contextual menus. It's just easier. I'm going to go ahead and share the fonts. You can see that it synchronized those fonts. Now, once we've shared them to the server, from there we need to log into the server. So if you're an administrator and you want to see the fonts that were just loaded, I'm going to click here just to refresh, and then I'm going to click back to the sets, and then we should see that latest font we just loaded somewhere in here. Let's see, where is it? So many fonts here. There it is, from Infinity. So those are the 6 fonts that we just shared from the client. That user had permission to share fonts. From there, what we're going to do is now share them with an individual user or a group. To start that process, you need to select the font set that you're going to use, and from there I can say, okay, I want to share this with an additional user. Since I am the administrator, I get those fonts automatically. If I click Add User, then I can select from a list of users here that may get that font or may need it, and you can just pick one. I'll pick John Smith as one. Now that's one way for the user to receive fonts that you've shared from the server. The other way is you can also add the fonts to a group. So if you want to distribute them to more people, you can create a group on the server, and all of the users in that group will then receive that font. So let's take a look at how that works. So if I want to add this set to a group, I can double click on the groups, add group, and from there I can select one. So let's pick production. It has 4 users, and then click save. Now the 4 users in the production group will now get this font group. So let's take a look at that. So here are the fonts. Here's the users that are in that group. Here's the group. If we go to the group itself, we can see how many users are in there, and we can see what sets they have, and you can see we've added that set here. And then the other thing too that you can do while you're thinking about sharing fonts is you can set expiration dates for fonts, groups, and users. And just by selecting a specific date, those fonts will automatically be removed from those users during synchronization. Now, earlier in the video we talked about permissions and how users get the ability to actually share fonts. If we go to the section in users and say, okay, I want user 3 to have certain permissions. In this case, I've selected uploaded fonts to server. You know, I could look at other ones here and I could say, okay, this administrators group, maybe I want them to have upload fonts to the server as well. This one or one of the administrators needs to be checked for those users to receive fonts. And that's as simple as that. So again, let's go over the client. Select share font, synchronizes to server. We go to the set that we synchronized in the sets tab. Here we go, and then we go into, say, a user that we might want to share to, add a user, and maybe select a new one and add that to the list. Now these 3 users have access to the font. If you want to go by group, we can go by group. We could say, let's add another group. Let's make sure that this group, REI, now has access to those fonts. And you can see it right here. And that's a little bit about sharing fonts from the client to the server and then distributing them to all the users that may need them. Thank you.